DeAnna Earsley-Bowers is one of just 7 Aggie softball players to earn All-American honors. She was a 4-year starting pitcher for Utah State and helped the Aggies to the NCAA Tournament in 1992 and 93. She was the Big West Conference Pitcher of the Year as a senior. The same year she was named 3rd team All-American. She ranked 2nd in Aggie career wins with 68 and shutouts with 40.
My reaction upon getting that phone call to say I was inducted in the Hall of Fame was a little bit of shock, and I was a little stunned because I didn't think I was old enough, but I am apparently, and it was just a complete honor. William Kofed was my very first pitching coach, and he got me to where I just did a buggy whip, and then he transferred me over to Rich Balswick. I stayed very true to what Rich taught, even to this day when I teach other kids to throw. And my high school coach, Jim Liggett, Raina and Dana Ford played here at Utah State. So there was kind of a little pipeline set up, and Mr. Liggett kind of knew how I was and how my family was, and he made the call to Lloyd Dean. Steve Leishman was here at Utah State, and when I came here, Rich was no longer really there, so I relied on Steve to teach me to kind of drive. And of course in the winters in the old hyper, there was nothing to push off of. So we really had to learn to somehow use our weight and our momentum transfer to create power. And so Steve Leishman was a big part of that. No hitters are funny because you have 7 people behind you and your catcher. So for a no hitter to happen, unless there's 21 strikeouts, then okay, it's on me, but it's definitely not. Your team has to make the plays, and sometimes amazing diving plays to save those no-hitters. On the 92 and 93 teams, both years I think we were nationally ranked, I think, on both those teams, but Jen Power was the catcher for both of those years. Integral anchor on the team. Haven't seen a catcher move up through the ranks quite like Jen was, and her ability to get the girls in line and take control of the field. We had Debbie Corbett, who Debbie and I alternated at first base when we weren't pitching, and she and I had a really amazing relationship because if I couldn't go, Debbie stepped in. If Debbie couldn't go, I stepped in, and there was no, the special part about those 2 teams was there was no ego. I think that's why we were so successful. Lloyd Dean, through all those entire 4 years, was firm. She was fair, and she threw in a few mix of, her tomato joke is classic. If there was a big game, if we had to play a ranked team, she would jump in the center of the pile and say, okay, I got a joke. And by the end of the 4 years, we knew the tomato joke was coming. So the seniors were like, oh, it's a tomato joke. So she was really firm, like to the point where my parents felt safe with me here, knowing that she had certain rules that her athletes had to follow, even when we weren't on the field. So she had high expectations. In the 4 years, the one that stands out the most for me was our last homestand against San Jose State. And if we won, if we beat them 3 out of 4 times, we were sole conference champions for Big West. So that one stood out for me because we did. I think we either took 3 or 4 or 4 or 4, I can't remember, but we took that entire series. And I just remember our team functioning as a unit, like that was our sole goal, was to win Big West. And back in those days, it was really, if you won a double header in 2 games in one day and then had to play the team 2 games tomorrow, chances of winning 3 or 4, usually you split 2 and 2. So that was a standout series, just an amazing memory of winning that game and claiming the championship. Looking back, I was really lucky because my family didn't have the resources for me to go to school, and if I was going to go to school, it was going to be local at a JC. So when Lloyd Dean gave me the opportunity to play and go to school, I'm the first and only college graduate in my family. And so what I take from that is the reality that how lucky I was and how I got such a an amazing education. I majored in education, so I've been teaching for 21 years, and so I try to just give back as much as I can with my students and some of the pitchers I work with and some of the ball players I work with, because there's no, I don't, we've been told there's no real full rides and anymore in athletics. It's a very different ball game right now, and I just feel so lucky that Lloydine, somehow that all worked out for me, because I think my life would have been very different if it weren't for that opportunity.
That's a great answer.